Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into the AI frontier. Buckle up because we're diving into some serious AI advancements, the kind that are happening right now and are already changing the world. Not some sci-fi future stuff. This is AI in action.
Yeah, the speed of AI advancement is unbelievable. What used to be sci-fi is becoming reality.
Okay, so let's jump right in with something that sounds straight out of a movie, Neuralink. You've probably heard about their brain-computer interfaces, but what's really got people talking is how they could boost our brains, like better memory, faster learning, and even help with brain injuries. So what's the science behind this?
Well, Neuralink is working on these new brain-computer interfaces. They go way beyond just reading what your brain is doing. They're figuring out how to actually mess with brain activity. It's basically like a two-way conversation between your brain and technology.
So they aren't just watching brain activity, they're trying to change it.
Yeah.
That's incredible,
Mhm.
but also kind of scary. What does that even mean for us?
I mean, the good stuff is huge. Imagine learning anything instantly, remembering everything perfectly, or even getting back movement after an injury. But obviously, with power like that, we got to think about the ethics.
Right, we'll definitely get into the ethical side of things later.
Yeah.
But for now, let's switch gears and talk about another crazy development. Quantum computing. Sounds like Star Trek ready,
Yeah.
but it's real, and it could completely change AI as we know it. So break this down for us. What is quantum computing, and what does it have to do with AI?
So quantum computing uses quantum mechanics to do calculations, and it does them in a way that's totally different from normal computers. Normal computers use bits, which are either 0 or 1. Quantum computers use qubits, which can be 0 and 1 at the same time. This lets them do some calculations way faster than normal computers.
So it's not just about speed. It's a whole new way of computing. That's wild. So how does this crazy computing power change AI?
Well, quantum computing could open up totally new things for AI, especially in areas that need a ton of computing power. Things like making new medicines, material science, or financial modeling. For example, quantum AI could design drugs just for your genes, or make new materials with crazy properties.
It sounds like quantum AI could speed up discoveries and innovations in a bunch of fields. What are some of the problems researchers are facing with quantum computers and AI?
One big one is building quantum computers that are stable and can grow. Qubits are super fragile and anything can mess them up, and that causes errors. Researchers are also working on new quantum algorithms, ones that can really take advantage of what makes quantum computers special.
So quantum computing and AI are still new, but the potential is definitely there. Okay, so we talked about AI making our brains better and AI using the crazy power of quantum mechanics. Now let's blast off from the quantum world and go to space.
AI is becoming more important for space, especially missions to Mars. What are some ways AI is being used out there, and how is it changing how we explore the cosmos? Oh, AI is being used in all sorts of ways to make space exploration better, like navigating, autonomously analyzing data, making scientific discoveries, and planning missions. Take NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars right now. It has AI systems that let it drive around on its own, find interesting stuff, and even decide which samples to collect.
So these rovers aren't just robots controlled from Earth. They can think for themselves thanks to AI.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's like having AI astronauts exploring alongside human scientists.
Yeah.
How is this AI-powered exploration changing what we know about Mars? And what does it mean for future human missions?
Well, by letting rovers work on their own, AI makes exploring Mars more efficient. AI also helps us understand the massive amounts of data these missions collect. And that leads to new discoveries about Mars' history, geology, and even if there was life there. This knowledge will be super important when we plan human missions to Mars. It's pretty amazing to think that AI is helping us explore another planet. It really shows how fast this field is growing and how much it can change things.
It definitely feels like we're entering a new age of space exploration, with AI as our partner in crime. But let's bring things back down to Earth for a sec and talk about something a bit closer to home. Self-driving cars. They're already out there on the roads in some places, but there's a big question hanging over them. How do we make sure these AI-powered cars make safe and ethical choices, especially in situations that are tough or unexpected?
That's a huge question, and it takes us right to the heart of AI ethics. Creating ethical frameworks for AI is super important, especially when we're talking about systems that can affect human safety.
You mentioned ethical frameworks before. Can you explain a bit more about what those are and how they work with AI, especially for self-driving cars?
Sure. So ethical frameworks for AI are basically guidelines and principles to make sure AI systems are built and used responsibly and for good. They deal with things like fairness, transparency, accountability, and safety. For self-driving cars, ethical frameworks are being made to guide how they make decisions, especially in situations where they might have to make tough choices.
So it's like trying to think of all the ethical problems that could happen. And then it's a big responsibility for sure. But it also feels like an amazing chance to shape the future of technology in a way that benefits everyone. Okay, so we talked about ethical frameworks for self-driving cars. But what about other areas where AI is making big changes, like healthcare, finance, and education? Are there similar ethical things to think about in these fields?
Definitely, for example, in healthcare, AI is being used to diagnose diseases, personalize treatments, and even assist with surgeries. But we need to make sure these AI systems respect patient privacy, avoid bias in diagnosis and treatment, and ultimately make healthcare better.
So transparency is key here. People need to know how these AI systems work and how their data is being used, especially for sensitive stuff like healthcare. What about finance? Are there specific ethical worries about AI in that area?
Well, in finance, AI is used to find fraud, manage investments, and assess credit risk. But there are concerns that AI could make existing biases worse, like by refusing loans to certain groups or favoring certain types of investments.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about how it's used and who benefits from it. That seems like a common thread in all these discussions about AI ethics.
You're exactly right. We need to be aware of the potential social and economic impacts of AI and make sure its benefits are shared by everyone, not just a select few.
That's a crucial point. It's easy to get caught up in all the cool tech advancements, but we can't forget about the human side of things. We need to make sure AI is developed and used in a way that helps all of humanity, not just certain groups or industries.
I totally agree. We're at a critical point in AI development, and the choices we make now will have huge consequences for the future. It's essential to have open and honest discussions about AI ethics, with diverse viewpoints and people from all walks of life.
It reminds us that AI isn't just some abstract force. It reflects our values, our hopes, and our fears. It's up to us to decide how we want to shape the future of AI and what kind of world we want to create with it. It's a big responsibility, but also an amazing opportunity to use technology to build a better future for everyone. It's crazy to think about how much AI is already changing our lives. And it feels like we're just getting started. As AI keeps evolving, what are some of the future possibilities that you find most exciting? Or maybe even a little scary?
One area that's super promising is where AI and synthetic biology meet. We talked about AI making new drugs, but imagine AI designing entirely new life forms, like organisms that can clean up pollution or create clean energy.
Whoa, it's like we're talking about designing life itself. That's both amazing and kind of freaky. How do we make sure that kind of power is used for good?
That's the big question. Like with any powerful technology, we need to be careful. We need to have clear rules and ethical guidelines. We got to make sure these advancements help people and the planet, not just make things worse or benefit a few.
It sounds like we need a global discussion about this, not just with scientists and politicians, but with ethicists, philosophers, and everyday people. We all have a part to play in shaping the future of AI. So what are some other things on the horizon that you think will change our lives?
Another big one is artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's the kind of AI you see in movies. A machine that can think and reason like a human, maybe even better than us. AGI is still mostly theoretical, but a lot of experts think it'll happen eventually.
That's both exciting and terrifying at the same time. What happens when we create a machine that might be smarter than us? How do we make sure it still cares about human values and goals?
That's one of the toughest problems for AI researchers and ethicists. We have to be incredibly careful how we design and build AGI. It needs to be aligned with human values from the very beginning. We need to create systems that are transparent, accountable, and that we can control, even as they become more advanced and independent.
It sounds like we need to start thinking about AI as more than just a tool, maybe as a partner or teammate. And with any good team, trust and understanding are crucial. So what can our listeners do to stay in the loop and be a part of this rapidly changing field?
There are a bunch of things you can do. Learn about AI and its potential benefits and risks. Support groups that are working on responsible AI development and ethical guidelines. Talk about AI with your friends, family, and coworkers. And most importantly, stay curious, stay informed, and stay involved. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and we all have a role to play in making sure it's a future we can all be a part of.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the AI frontier. We hope you learned some new things, had some interesting thoughts, and maybe even rediscovered a sense of wonder about what's possible. Remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's a future we're building together, through our choices, our actions, and our vision for a better world. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep shaping the future.